Let's start off the video by going over the game director's post about the DSS Global Chat. This Helldiver right here asked for some sort of DSS Global Chat for people to kind of conversate, right? And, coordinate where the DSS needs to go. In response, Safez said that it's something he'll bring up to the team, so maybe that's something we'll see eventually. The next question is about factions. This Helldiver wants to know if we'll ever see an enemy faction fighting for territories on the Galactic War map. That would be interesting, and that would be completely different from what we see right now. Anyways, Safez responded back and said it would be super cool. I think it would be possible, but it comes with a lot of other implications. Now, they're not completely saying, hey, we're not going to do it, we just don't know. And with that being said, yeah, it makes sense. He can't confirm whether or not that's something they'll actually do, but maybe at some point it's something they'll consider to kind of make the, Galactic War map interesting. Maybe then we'll be able to see two factions on one biome, not just two factions fighting over one planet, but we'll be able to dive onto those planets and fight two factions. That is what I'm certainly looking forward to, although we know at the current moment, the gaming engine cannot handle it. So perhaps once the developers are able to figure that out, that's when we'll see that feature. I'm almost certain. Continuing on, a Helldiver asked about this Stim pistol. Will it get any love? In response, Safez wanted to know what kind of love would we like to see. So a Helldiver chimed in and said it upgraded to the REP 80 or Rep 80. Yeah, for you guys that don't know, that's an old equipment on Helldivers 1, which is quite incredible. However, I don't know if we're going to see that. Now, Safez did have a response to that. He said, that sounds like a different piece of equipment instead. Giving out more meaningful choices is probably a better approach. Yeah, that right there is something I would love to be able to use in game, right? The Rep 80 was incredible, and for you guys out there that have played Helldivers 1, you most certainly are looking forward to that at some point. However, even if you haven't played Helldivers 1, you're certainly looking for something new to mess around with and try out, and I'm certainly there. I want to try something new, completely different in terms of healing, and try to build a medic build. With that conversation aside, we have another question here. This Helldiver would like to know if we are ever going to see textures added to the ship battling in the sky over bot planets. In response, Safez said, it's a lot more work than just adding textures, but it's something we'd like to do at some point. This is something they would certainly like to do, and maybe it'll happen, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure they have better things to focus on instead of just adding certain textures like that, right? They have to work on the new war bond, they have to introduce some new mechanics probably at some point. Not to mention, we of course know from the last video that they're working on the DSS, aka the Democracy Space Station, so obviously they have better things to focus on instead of just adding something minuscule like that, right? At least in my opinion, it's minuscule. I don't think it's something they should focus on when they have better things to just look at and improve, right? So that's what I think. Okay, the next question is about the Galactic War Table and major orders in general. This Helldiver would like to know if there's any way the developers can give out extra rewards for those that participate in the major order to just kind of get players more engaged, right? To want to do these major orders. The game directors saw that response and basically said that, hey, incentives could possibly work. And yeah, maybe it could work, but I don't know. I think it truly depends on the Helldivers. Some Helldivers just like to do their own thing, and some actually like to participate in the major order, which you absolutely should if you like spreading democracy the right way. But either or, you're helping out the Galactic War, right? If you're fighting on the Terminus sides, you're stopping them. If you're fighting with the squids, you're helping us out with the black hole. So yeah, it all makes sense to me. What we have next is a question about the minigun. This Helldiver wants to know if there's any updates for the minigun stratagem. In response, Safez said, no updates to share regarding the minigun. Unfortunately, we know it's a highly requested feature. Sadly, there's no response. There's no updates about a minigun, but hey, it's to be expected, right? They're not going to just reveal this stuff up front. They rather surprise us, shock us, fill in any other word you want to get us all excited about this minigun. So I doubt they're going to reveal anything soon. And hell, who knows? Maybe he does know something here, but he can't reveal it. Moving along, we have a question about the DSS. Will the DSS receive a donate all button? That would be helpful. That way you can just donate everything and not have to go to each individual slot, right? Well, Safez had this to say. He says, it's something they're discussing. Yeah, I'm all for this feature. If you're able to add something like that, or maybe it would be considered a quality of life update, something to where I can donate all my samples and not have to worry about it, hell yeah, I'm all for it. Moving along, we have a great question about the Super Destroyer size. Will we get a larger ship, or are we just stuck with the Super Destroyer? This Helldiver asked that question. In response, Safez said, it's an idea we're exploring. There's quite a bit of work, though, to get that done. You know what? This is something I'm looking forward to the most. Absolutely, because I just want to be able to explore an entire ship, right? Look at different types of lore, if that's possible, because it was available in the first game. Maybe something like that would be something you guys are looking forward to. Not to mention, they could throw in Easter eggs, possibly include something about John Helldiver, maybe something about General Brash. I would love to know so much more about this game, and I'm sure a lot of you are as well, right? You would like to know more stuff about lore-wise, Easter egg-wise, something cool like that. Stepping away from the Super Destroyer question, we have one about the melee weapons. This Helldiver wants to know, are we going to receive different types of melee weapons, or are we just limited to them? Like this one, he referred to it as a new stick every month. In response, Safez said, we'll add anything we think is cool and fits the game. We don't have any specific limits. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm certainly looking forward to is a Claymore sword. Just a massive Claymore sword that I can swipe through different enemies, multiple enemies. I think that is something I would love to see. Not too sure what melee weapons you guys are looking forward to, but if you want to, comment down below what weapons you would like to see melee-wise. We're now going to sort of track backwards about the multiple factions, right? So this Helldiver wants to know if we're ever going to see multi-factions fighting on the same planet. You know, like bots against Terminids and whatnot. In response, Safez said, I don't want to make any promises because there's a lot of technical and performance issues with that, but it's all ones and zeros in the end. This is something we've talked about before, not this conversation specifically, yet when Pillistead mentioned that there were some issues with the gaming engine when it comes down to producing, you know, or developing two different factions on one planet, and obviously that's something that's still a problem. However, there's a good chance they can solve that, right? They can figure it out and then introduce, you know, multi-factions on one planet. I think that's absolutely possible. They just have to figure out what's going on with the gaming engine and have the resources and times to do so. All right, I've got one more question to go over right now, and this is it. So what we have here is a question by this Helldiver that basically asks the same thing as a previous Helldiver about major order rewards. You know, can you add participation rewards, basically? In response, Safez said, we want to be generous with players not actively playing the game or choosing to play their own way, but I reckon that's a deeper problem where we need better encouragement for players participating with the MOs. Having 100% participation means that the MOs will always be won though, and that introduces other issues. What do you all think? Do you think they should add some participation rewards for those that are actively participating in the major order or not? Do you think that's a bad idea? Me personally, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, but I can definitely see where some players would feel like, you know, hey, why do I have to participate in the major order besides, you know, wanting to be a good person and spread democracy? Why would I want to do this, right? I don't know. I think when it comes down to it, I think everybody should just have their own way with it, right? If you want to participate in the major order, good. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Nevertheless, at the same time, I don't think it's a bad idea, but again, I would like to know what your thoughts are. It doesn't bother me personally if they were to add it or if they didn't add it. It's not a big deal. But let me know what you think about this specifically. On a completely different note, let's talk about the major order. You can see right here on Karen Prime, we have about, what, 14,000 Helldivers right there? Cool, that's great and all that, but if you check on the bottom one, we have 23,000 here on Charbel. It makes no sense, and I'll tell you why. If we head over to Karen Prime, we liberate this planet, we stop the defense campaign altogether, and we claim 2 different planets, which means, well, it's easier, right? Instead of just going to Charbel and then trying to conquer that one. I think it's a bad idea, or more so, stop the defense, right? To stop them from attacking and all that. So yeah, I think this is a terrible idea that there's a lot of players on Charbel instead of Karen Prime when, again, we could just stop this all at once. What I'd like to know, do you agree with me or do you not agree with me? Do you think Gambit is a bad idea? I think you're wrong if you think Gambit is a bad idea here, because it's absolutely the best idea. Nonetheless, let me know what you think in the comments below. Last but not least, for today's video, we have the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to be featured on the video, all you have to do is comment down below. The first comment is by UN Peacekeeper Ball 432. Clans, the only clan you're in is Super Earth, no doubt. The next question is from Seath 458. I had some surgery yesterday when I was drugged out of my brain. I remember doing the Super Earth salute. Super Earth really does protect. I can't imagine what the nurses thought, or maybe your family, whoever saw you do that, if they did see you. The final third comment is by a Trace. While having clans would be cool, I'm just glad he's being honest rather than making promises they can't keep. Absolutely, that's really important, right? And I agree with you. I think that's the best thing about his response, was he was just upfront about it. With that all being said, those are the top 3 comments. I appreciate y'all stopping by, whether you subscribed, whether you're not subscribed, whether you comment or don't comment. I just appreciate you stopping by to check out the channel. I appreciate everyone that's supporting the channel through memberships. With that, hope you guys have a great one out there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.